Welcome to the Quiet Impact Podcast. This is where introvert leaders and entrepreneurs learn to amplify your presence, profit from your purpose, and lead without compromising your peace. I'm Stephanie Oden, I'm your host. And today I want to talk to you about something that's extremely personal, and it's something that I do that has become very beneficial. I've shared this in workshops that I've done, and I want to share it with you. It's foundational in how I set up for success in my daily regimen. Because the truth is, building as an introvert, leading as an introvert in a loud world can feel exhausting if you don't learn how to protect your internal environment first. And for me, it's faith based. Faith isn't separate from how I do my leadership or how I operate in my business. It's my foundation. So you may not believe like I believe. However, there may be something that you can glean from what I am sharing with you. I'm going to walk you through my daily habit that helps me stay grounded. It helps me protect my energy. It helps me strengthen my mindset. And it keeps me moving forward, even when there's fear, even when there's doubt, even when there's delay, and even when overwhelm tries to creep in. So let's jump in, shall we? We shall. Welcome to the Quiet Impact Podcast, where we nurture the journey of introverts who desire to achieve greater levels of influence, income, and impact. The go-to podcast for introvert achievers just like you, seeking purpose-driven growth. I am your host, Stephanie Oden. Oh, I'm Stephanie Oden, and I want to walk you through something that's been incredibly important in my own life and my business. Because the truth is, building a business, whether you're doing it full time or alongside your main thing as an introvert in a world that is often loud, can feel exhausting. If you don't learn how to protect your internal environment first, you're going to struggle. Now, for me, my faith isn't separate from my leadership or my business or my life. It's the foundation of everything underneath it. So I want to walk you through my daily habits, the ones that help me stay grounded, that protect my energy, that strengthen my mindset, and help me continue to move forward. Even when there's fear or doubt or delay or discouragement or overwhelm, any of those try to creep in. These aren't complicated, they are intentional. We're not shy, we're not timid, we're not needing to be fixed. We are an introvert, and that is our superpower. Now, before I get into the habits themselves, I want to acknowledge something. A lot of introverted leaders and entrepreneurs aren't struggling because of a lack of intelligence or talent or vision. A lot of times the struggle is because there's constantly operating in environments that reward noise over alignment. And over time, that starts to create an internal friction. You start second guessing yourself, like, okay, am I really meant to be doing this thing? Hello. Start overthinking visibility. Start wondering, hey, am I doing enough? And questioning whether you're enough because you don't lead the loud way is self-defeating. It does not serve you. So that's why these habits matter. If you don't intentionally ground yourself, the world will happily define your pace, define your identity, and define your worth for you. And it won't be for your good. So the first one I want to share with you that I do is setting the frequency. And before I touch email, my phone, or the noise of the world, I decide who I need to be at the start of the day. And I begin with gratitude, a gratitude practice. Not all things are good, but there is good in all things somewhere. You have to find it. And if you find it the first thing in the morning, however you want to create that practice, that is ground zero. That's not even one of the habits. That's just an is. That's just something that you do. And once I've established the gratitude, the next thing that I do is I remind myself of what my BHAG, big, hairy, audacious goal intention is for my business. What do I want? What do I want to become? What will this becoming allow me to be able to do in service to humanity. So that's the first thing that I do after the gratitude is what is that intention? And I have my intention set. You can set yours and have it written out. Not what I need to do, who do I want to embody? Because that climate sets the stage for everything. As an introvert, we absorb a lot. And if we don't intentionally anchor ourselves first, we'll spend the rest of the day reacting instead of being intentional, instead of leading the day. The day will lead us. So I set the emotional and the spiritual tone before the world gets access to me. My question for you: what frequency are you starting your morning from right now? Is it pressure? Is it fear? Is it scarcity? Is it intention? Like, what do you want? The next habit that I do, I call it my spiritual armor. And this is where I interrupt the lies that follow us into leadership and into our purpose driven actions. We've all felt it, like that voice that says, you're not extroverted enough. And I call my practice a truth drop. For me, it's speaking out loud for things that say, you're too quiet, you're too slow, you're too different, you're too invisible. And I replace them with the truth. Not a motivational fluff, but the truth. I am fully seen. I am fully heard. I am fully chosen. I am fully loved. I am fully equipped for this assignment. And I don't say those mechanically. I let myself feel them. There's something powerful that happens when truth and emotion connect. We stop operating from survival and we start operating from wholeness. Because my goal with adding the truth drop in there is to remind myself of who I am despite what results could come later. It doesn't change the truth of me being seen, heard, loved, held, chosen. Remember, I'm basing it on my faith. And it reminds me that I already am inside, equipped, born with what I need to become who I am intended to be. And then you pair those truths with elevated emotions, that feeling of being completely safe and supported. These aren't just affirmations. It's like you're putting on armor that no criticism or self doubt can pierce. And you're operating from a place of wholeness and not lack. But here's the secret: you have to pair the truth with an elevated emotion. Like, I am grateful, I am joyful, there's a boldness, I am prosperous, I'm boldly expecting the good. Those become truth drop statements that elevate the emotion. And the third one is that the habit of mental rehearsal. Okay? This is the practice of seeing what is unseen before it fully exists. It's a rehearsed success. I see it before I see it. And it keeps me grounded. It keeps me clear. It keeps me confident. It keeps me present. Because my faith isn't pretending fear doesn't show up, it's choosing alignment before the evidence that validates shows up. So, what's the actual practice? What do? I've said a lot. Let me tell you what I actually do. Here's a practice. I take something that I intend, and for me, it's monthly. You may do yours daily. What is it I intend for the month in terms of results based in my goal? And I write that out. Once I write that out, then read it silently. Once I read it silently a couple of times and I read it aloud a couple of times, I close my eyes, I put my hand over my heart, and then I see it into being and I express gratitude for it. And I do that every day. The fourth one is 10x. Now, 10x, there's a whole book around 10x, and I don't look at it quite like that. And I'm going to share with you how I look at it. This one challenged me because sometimes as an introvert, we can stay busy doing safe work instead of doing the transformative work. Answering the calls, tweaking the graphics, rewriting the post 17, 18, 19 times. But there's actually one activity that I found that actually moves the vision forward. There's one thing that you can do in that day to move forward towards your overall BHAG intention. big, hairy, audacious goal intention. One conversation, one video, one ask, one decision, one leadership move. Faith without movement stays theoretical. So every day I ask, what is the one thing that creates multiplication instead of just maintenance? Habit number 5, reflective stewardship at the end of the day. Instead of obsessing over everything that didn't happen, I intentionally look for the movement. Where did I grow? Where did I lead well? Where did I show courage? Where did I show support? Who was impacted today by me showing up? Because as introverts we tend to replay mistakes, but true stewardship reminds us to acknowledge the progress too. So just like I started my day, I end my day with gratitude, and that changes how I show up the next morning. Building a business or a life as an introvert isn't about becoming louder. It's about being anchored, aligned, intentional, rooted in who we were created to be. And these are my daily habits that have helped me to do exactly that. So I would love to know, which of these habits do you see yourself putting into practice? Which of these do you need most right now? And if this episode encouraged you, make sure you subscribe and share it with another quiet leader or a fellow entrepreneur that is looking to grow their business. Talk to you soon. Take care.